The term probiotic has invaded our vocabulary. These are the so-called good bacteria that live in our gut, and if they proliferate, they squeeze out the bad or disease-causing bacteria. This is the reason why people are eating yogurt and kefir and kimchi, sauerkraut these days. Historically, all of this traces back to a Russian zoologist, Evgeny Mechnikov, who in 1908 received the Nobel Prize in Physiology and Medicine for his discovery of an important part of the immune system. He discovered certain white blood cells that can eat bacteria and destroy them. This led him to look at the possibility of bacteria having some good effects on the body as well. And he got interested in aging, actually even wrote a book on aging. And in it, he described his belief that Bulgarian peasants lived a long time because they ate yogurt, which had these beneficial bacteria. He himself drank sour milk every day, believing that the lactic acid in sour milk would prevent aging. Well, it was an interesting discovery, and it was capitalized on by Dr. John Harvey Kellogg. Kellogg, of course, who eventually became famous because the cereal company that he and his brother founded. But he believed in the therapeutic value of yogurt. And at his so-called sanitarium in Battle Creek, Michigan, where people from around the world came to be cured of diseases that they never had, he would use yogurt, not always administered orally. Sometimes the yogurt would be introduced through the rear portals. The important discovery, though, in the history of probiotics was made by a German physician, Alfred Nisle. And in 1917, he discovered a bacterium, a certain species of E. coli bacteria that normally are found in the gut, that protected against diarrhea in a soldier. He found one soldier who, although his whole battalion was infected with some kind of bacterium that caused diarrhea, Shigella species, this soldier was immune. And it turned out, after examining his fecal matter, that it was because he had a high dose of this specific type of E. coli. And based upon this, Nisle formulated a drug. This drug was Mutaflor. And it was a bacterial concoction of the specific bacterium that he had isolated. And this became a big fad in Germany. And Hitler's photographer, the name of Hoffman, heard about this. And he found that it was very good for him. And he suggested this to the Fuhrer, who constantly complained of all kinds of intestinal problems. And he took Mutaflor and he felt better. And the suggestion of Mutaflor was actually made by his personal physician, who had learned about it from Hoffman, the photographer, and that was Theodor Morell. And Morell became famous because of this. Hitler thought the world of him. Not everyone did. Many people considered him to be a quack. But anyway, Hitler followed his advice. And Morell went on to treat Hitler not only with Mutaflor, but also with a whole range of substances that included things like belladonna extract and morphine and codeine and quinine, virtually everything that he could get his hands on. He even treated Hitler with strychnine, which in those days was a medication that was very often used for intestinal problems. Unfortunately, he didn't give Hitler enough strychnine.